Here's what's remarkable about Proverbs. It was written 3,000 years ago, Bronze Age, ancient Near East, pre-internet, pre-electricity, pre-industrial revolution. Yet, open it today and you'll find parenting advice that works. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Proverbs 22:6. Relationship insight that's timeless. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. Work ethic that builds success. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. Warning about pride that's still relevant. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. Ancient wisdom, modern application, because human nature hasn't changed, and God's design for how life works hasn't changed. What is Proverbs? Proverbs is wisdom literature, not history like Genesis or Kings, not prophecy like Isaiah or Jeremiah, not poetry about God like Psalms. Proverbs is practical wisdom for everyday life, how to live skillfully in God's world, how to make good decisions, how to avoid painful consequences, how to succeed in relationships, work, finances, parenting, leadership. The structure. Proverbs has 31 chapters, perfect for one per day of the month. But it's not random collection of sayings. It has deliberate structure. Primary author, Solomon. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Proverbs 1:1. Solomon, wisest man who ever lived. 1 Kings 3:4. God gave him supernatural wisdom. He wrote 3,000 Proverbs. 1 Kings 4:32. The 800 plus in this book are the Spirit-selected best. Ironic, Solomon had the wisdom to write Proverbs, but didn't have the character to live it. He knew what was right, did what was wrong. Proverbs warns against multiple wives. Solomon had 700 wives. Proverbs warns about foreign women turning hearts from God. Solomon's wives did exactly that. The lesson: wisdom must be lived, not just known. The central theme. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord appears throughout Proverbs. It doesn't mean terror. It means reverent awe. Recognizing God's authority. Living with awareness that God sees and judges, structuring life around God's design. This is the foundation of all wisdom. You can't have true wisdom without fearing God, because wisdom is living according to how God designed reality to work. Two paths. Proverbs presents constant contrast. The wise versus the fool, the righteous versus the wicked, the diligent versus the lazy, the humble versus the proud. Two paths, two destinies. Choose wisdom, life, prosperity, peace, honor. Choose foolishness, death, poverty, conflict, shame. Not always immediately, but ultimately. Proverbs teaches actions have consequences. The universe has moral structure. Reap what you sow. Wisdom personified. Wisdom calls aloud in the street. She raises her voice in the public squares. On top of the wall she cries out. At the city gate she makes her speech. How long will you who are simple love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery and fools hate knowledge? Proverbs 1:20-22. Wisdom isn't hidden in ivory towers. She's accessible, public, calling to everyone. The question is, will we listen? Opposing her. Lady Folly. Folly is an unruly woman. She is simple and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling out to those who pass by. Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious. But little do they know that the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead. Proverbs 9:13-18. Two voices, two invitations. Wisdom leads to life. Folly leads to death. The major themes will explore the fear of the Lord, foundation of all wisdom, the power of words, life and death in the tongue, diligence versus laziness, work ethic, determining destiny, wealth and poverty, money principles that work, pride versus humility, the path to honor or destruction, friendships, choosing companions wisely, marriage and sexual purity, warnings that save lives, parenting, training children in wisdom, leadership and justice, ruling righteously. The Proverbs 31 woman, wisdom embodied wisdom and folly, contrasted, the two paths, Christ as wisdom, how Jesus fulfills this book, why Proverbs matters today. In an age of information overload, we need wisdom to discern truth, moral relativism. We need God's objective standards, instant gratification. We need long-term thinking, self-promotion. We need humility, relationship chaos. We need communication skills, financial instability. We need money principles, parenting confusion. We need child-rearing wisdom. Proverbs provides all of this, not as rigid laws, but as wisdom principles, showing us how life works when lived according to God's design. The goal. Proverbs aims to make us skillful in living. Hebrew word for wisdom is chokmah, skill, expertise. A skilled craftsman knows how materials work and shapes them accordingly. A wise person knows how life works and lives accordingly. This isn't just religious theory. This is practical, applicable, tested over millennia wisdom that still rules the world because it's based on how God designed reality, and reality hasn't changed. Let's discover how ancient wisdom speaks powerfully to modern life. Everything in Proverbs flows from one foundational principle. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1:7. This phrase, or close variations, appears throughout Proverbs. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord adds length to life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. Proverbs 10:27. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, turning a person from the snares of death. Proverbs 14:27. The fear of the Lord teaches a man wisdom, and humility comes before honor. Proverbs 15:33. This is non-negotiable. You cannot have true wisdom without fearing God. What is fear of the Lord? It's not being terrified of God, thinking God is cruel and waiting to punish living in cowering terror. It is reverent awe, recognizing God's greatness, power, holiness, respectful submission, acknowledging His authority over your life. Holy accountability, living with awareness that God sees all and judges righteously, trust and obedience, following His ways because you know He's good. Think of it like this. A child who fears a good father doesn't cower in terror, but he does respect boundaries. He knows Father's word is final. He trusts Father knows best even when he doesn't understand. He avoids things that would disappoint or anger Father, not from terror but from love mixed with respect. That's the fear of the Lord. Why is this the beginning? Because wisdom starts with correct foundation. If you don't believe in God, no objective truth, no moral absolutes, no ultimate meaning. If you don't fear God, you make yourself the authority, determining right and wrong based on personal preference. But reality doesn't work that way. God designed the universe with moral structure. Certain actions lead to certain consequences, regardless of your opinions. Fearing God means aligning your life with reality as God designed it. Not as you wish it were, not as culture says it should be, as God made it to function. Practical implications. 1. In decision-making. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. Fearing God means consulting His word before deciding, not just trusting your gut or following culture. 2. In relationships. Do not be envious of sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Proverbs 23:17-18. Fearing God means not envying those who succeed through ungodly means, trusting that righteousness ultimately wins. 3. In work, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3. Fearing God means working as unto him, not just for human approval. 4. In wealth, better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. Proverbs 15:16. Fearing God means valuing righteousness over riches. 5. In speech, whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps himself from calamity. Proverbs 21:23. Fearing God means watching words because God hears everything. The contrast. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1-7. A fool in Proverbs isn't someone with low IQ. It's someone who rejects God's authority, who lives as if God doesn't exist or doesn't matter, who says, "I'll do it my way regardless of what God says." The fool's creed, "There is no God." Psalm 14:1. Or functionally, "God exists, but I'll live as if he doesn't." The result, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. Proverbs 12:15. Fools are unteachable, self-sufficient, arrogant. They reject correction, despise instruction, and they suffer for it. The reward. Humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. Proverbs 22:4. Fearing God produces life, physical and spiritual. Riches, not always monetary, but prosperity in what matters. Honor, reputation, respect, legacy. Peace, clean conscience, right relationships. Security, God's protection and provision. The fear of the Lord leads to life, then one rests content, untouched by trouble. Proverbs 19:23. What this teaches: 1. Wisdom is moral, not just intellectual. You can have high IQ and be a fool. You can have PhD and lack wisdom, because wisdom starts with fearing God. 2. Reality has a designer. Life isn't random. There are rules. Violate them, sheesh, suffer. Follow them, sheesh, flourish. 3. Autonomy is delusion. I'll do it my way. Sounds independent. Actually, it's foolishness, because your way contradicts reality's design. 4. Humility is required. Fear of the Lord. Quote, admitting you're not God. Your understanding is limited. You need his instruction. 5. This affects everything, not just religious areas. Fear of God impacts work, money, relationships, speech, parenting, everything. 6. Long-term thinking wins. Fools seek immediate gratification. Wise people fear God and think eternally. 7. You can't outgrow this. Beginning of wisdom doesn't mean you start here, then move past it. It's the foundation you keep building on. The fear of the Lord is where wisdom starts, where it stays, where it always returns. Without it, nothing else in Proverbs works. With it, everything else makes sense. Choose your foundation. Fear of the Lord, wisdom, life, prosperity, peace. Rejection of God. Foolishness, death, poverty, turmoil, ancient truth, modern relevance, eternal stakes. Proverbs has more to say about speech than almost any other topic. Why? Because words are powerful. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Proverbs 18:21. Life and death, not exaggeration, reality. Your words can build up or tear down, heal or wound, encourage or discourage, create peace or start wars, make or destroy relationships. Bless or curse. Let's explore what Proverbs teaches about the tongue. The danger of careless words. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Proverbs 12:18. Reckless words, swords piercing, not metaphor, description. Words wound, sometimes permanently. A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends. Proverbs 16:28. One gossip can destroy decades-long friendship. A troublemaker and a villain who goes about with a corrupt mouth, who plots evil with deceit in his heart, he always stirs up conflict. Proverbs 6:12-14. The mouth reveals the heart, and corrupt mouth creates chaos. The wise use few words. Sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold their tongues. Proverbs 10:19. More words, more opportunity for sin. When words are many, sin is not absent, but the prudent hold their tongues. Proverbs 10:19. Wise people speak less, listen more, think before speaking. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Proverbs 17:28. Silence can make you look smarter than you are. Talking too much exposes foolishness. The power of gentle words. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. This is one of Proverbs' most practical verses. Someone attacks you verbally. Respond harshly. Escalation. Respond gently. De-escalation. Your tone matters as much as your content. A person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word. Proverbs 15:23. Right words at right time. Powerful. Wrong words at wrong time. Damaging. A word aptly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. Proverbs 25:11. Beautiful, valuable, rare. The danger of lying. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Proverbs 12:22. God hates lies. Why? Because he is truth. Lies destroy. Trust in relationships, integrity in business, foundation of society, connection with God. A false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will not go free. Proverbs 19:5. Lying has consequences. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. Proverbs 12:19. Truth stands, lies collapse. The danger of gossip. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. Proverbs 11:13. Gossip tracks, revealing what should stay private. It destroys trust, ruins reputations, damages relationships. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. Proverbs 18:8. Gossip is tempting, tasty, hard to resist. Like junk food that damages your body, gossip damages your soul. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down. Proverbs 26:20. Want to end conflict? Stop gossiping. The danger of flattery. Whoever flatters their neighbor is spreading a net for their feet. Proverbs 29:5. Flattery, insincere praise designed to manipulate, different from genuine encouragement. Flattery has agenda, uses people. A lying tongue hates those it hurts, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Proverbs 26:28. Flatterers ultimately destroy those they flatter. The power of encouragement. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. Proverbs 12:25. One kind word can lift heavy burden. One critical word can add to it. Choose wisely. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Proverbs 16:24. Your words can literally heal or wound. You choose. The importance of timing, to answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Proverbs 18:13. Listen first, speak second. Most arguments happen because people respond before understanding. Do you see someone who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for them. Proverbs 29:20. Hasty speech, worse than foolishness. The revealing nature of words. From the mouth of the righteous comes the fruit of wisdom, but a perverse tongue will be silenced. Proverbs 10:31. Words reveal what's in the heart. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. Proverbs 10:11. What flows from your mouth shows what fills your heart. Practical application. 1. Think before you speak. Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity. Proverbs 21:23. Count to 10. Consider consequences. 2. Speak less, listen more. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Proverbs 18:13. 2 ears, 1 mouth, use proportionally. 3. Choose gentleness over harshness. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1. Especially when angry. Lower your voice, soften your tone. 4. Avoid gossip like plague. A gossip betrays a confidence. Proverbs 11:13. If someone gossips to you, they'll gossip about you. 5. Tell the truth, even when costly. The Lord detests lying lips. Proverbs 12:22. Short-term pain of truth beats long-term damage of lies. 6. Encourage generously. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. Proverbs 12:25. Your words can literally save someone's day or life. 7. Apologize quickly when you wound. Reckless words pierce like swords. Proverbs 12:18. You've wounded with words. We all have. Own it, apologize. Heal what you can, what this teaches. 1. Words are weapons or medicine, you choose which, every time you speak. 2. You can't take words back. Like a maniac shooting flaming arrows of death is one who deceives their neighbor and says, "I was only joking." Proverbs 26:18-19. Just kidding doesn't undo damage. 3. Character shows in speech. Want to know someone's heart? Listen to their words. 4. Silence is often wiser than speech. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent. Proverbs 17:28. 5. Gossip is sin, not entertainment. Stop participating. Stop spreading. 6. Encouragement is ministry. Your kind words might be exactly what someone needs to keep going. 7. You'll give account. Jesus said, everyone will have to give account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. Matthew 12:36. Proverbs prepared that truth. The tongue has the power of life and death. Use it wisely. Proverbs has zero patience for laziness and massive respect for diligence. The contrast appears throughout. The sluggard. Proverbs uses this word repeatedly. Sluggard. Hebrew, atzel. It's not someone who rests appropriately. It's someone who chronically avoids work through excuses and self-deception. The portrait of a sluggard. 1. Makes ridiculous excuses. The sluggard says, there's a lion in the road, a fierce lion roaming the streets. Proverbs 26:13. Proverbs has zero patience for laziness and massive respect for diligence. The contrast appears throughout. The sluggard Proverbs uses this word repeatedly. Sluggard. Hebrew, atzel. It's not someone who rests appropriately. It's someone who chronically avoids work through excuses and self-deception. The portrait of a sluggard. 1. Makes ridiculous excuses. The sluggard says, there's a lion in the road, a fierce lion roaming the streets. Proverbs 26:13. Translation, I can't work today, there might be danger. Exaggerated fears, imaginary obstacles, anything to avoid work. The sluggard says, there's a lion outside. I'll be killed in the public square. Proverbs 22:13. Notice, the excuse gets more dramatic each time. That's how self-deception works. 2. Loves sleep more than productivity. As a door turns on its hinges, so a sluggard turns on his bed. Proverbs 26:14. Back and forth, never actually getting up. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Proverbs 6:10-11. Just a little more sleep. Meanwhile, poverty is breaking in like a thief. Do not love sleep, or you will grow poor. Stay awake, and you will have food to spare. Proverbs 20:13. Sleep is good. Excessive sleep is destructive. 3. Too lazy even to feed himself. A sluggard buries his hand in the dish. He will not even bring it back to his mouth. Proverbs 19:24. This is almost comedic. He reaches for food, but bringing it to his mouth is too much effort. Proverbs is mocking the extreme laziness. 4. Thinks he's smarter than everyone. A sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who answer discreetly. Proverbs 26:16. The lazy person has elaborate justifications, can't be corrected, thinks everyone else is the problem. 5. Experiences poverty as inevitable result. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. One who is slack in his work is brother to one who destroys. Proverbs 18:9. Laziness doesn't just fail to build, it actively destroys. I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere, the ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. I applied my heart to what I observed and learned a lesson from what I saw. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Proverbs 24:30-34. The sluggard's field, thorns everywhere, overrun with weeds. Wall collapsed, total ruin. That's what laziness produces, the diligent opposite portrait, opposite results. 1. Plans ahead. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. Diligent people think long-term. They plan, prepare, execute. 2. Works hard consistently. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14:23. Diligent people don't just talk about what they'll do, they do it. Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank. Proverbs 22:29. Excellence in work creates opportunities. 3. Takes initiative. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Ecclesiastes 11:4. Waiting for perfect conditions, never starting. Diligent people work despite obstacles. 4. Finishes what they start. The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. All day long he craves and craves, but the righteous give without sparing. Proverbs 21:25-26. Sluggards want results without work. Righteous people work, produce, and have surplus to give. 5. Experiences prosperity as natural result. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. Proverbs 12:24. Diligence, leadership, laziness, slavery, poverty forces you to work anyway, but for someone else. The sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Proverbs 13:4. The ant as model. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Proverbs 6:6-8. Learn from the ant. Self-motivated, no commander needed. Plans ahead. Stores in summer for winter. Works when opportunity exists, harvest time. Diligent without supervision. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? Proverbs 6:9. God wakes up the lazy through his word. Balance, rest is also biblical. Proverbs isn't promoting workaholism. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. Psalm 127:2. Rest is gift from God. The Sabbath is commanded. The difference: laziness, avoiding work through excuses, sleeping excessively, producing nothing. Rest, strategic recovery that enables better work done with clear conscience. Work as worship. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Colossians 3:23. Proverbs lays groundwork for New Testament work ethic. Work isn't curse, it's calling. Even before the fall, Adam worked the garden. Work is part of being made in God's image. God works, we work. 1. Stop making excuses. There's a lion outside. I'm too tired, I don't feel like it. Conditions aren't perfect. Just start. Work imperfectly. Progress beats perfection. 2. Develop consistent work habits. All hard work brings a profit. Proverbs 14:23. Small, consistent effort compounds over time. 3. Plan long-term. The plans of the diligent lead to profit. Proverbs 21:5. Think ahead. Prepare for winter during summer. 4. Take initiative without needing supervision. Be like the ant. Self-motivated. 5. Finish what you start. Don't just start projects, complete them. 6. Rest strategically, not excessively. Sleep is necessary. Excessive sleep is destructive. 7. Work as unto the Lord changes everything when you see work as worship. What this teaches: 1. Character shows in work ethic. How you work reveals who you are. 2. Poverty often has behavioral roots. Not always, but often. Proverbs connects laziness and poverty repeatedly. 3. Diligence creates opportunities. Skilled in their work will serve before kings. Proverbs 22:29. Excellence opens doors. 4. Excuses are self-deception. There's a lion outside sounds ridiculous to others, sounds reasonable to the sluggard. 5. Small lazy habits compound to ruin. A little sleep, a little slumber. Little compromises create big consequences. 6. You can't separate faith and work. Lazy Christian is contradiction. Faith without works is dead. James 2:26. 7. Work is part of God's design for human flourishing. Not punishment, privilege. Way to provide, contribute, create. The sluggard's field, thorns, weeds, ruin. The diligent person's field, harvest, profit, abundance. Your work ethic is writing your future. Choose wisely. Proverbs is brutally practical about money. No romanticizing poverty, no demonizing wealth, just reality about how money works. Causes of poverty. 1. Laziness. We covered this, but it bears repeating. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Proverbs 13:4. Not all poverty is caused by laziness, but some is. 2. Get-rich-quick schemes. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Proverbs 13:11. The greedy stir up conflict, but those who trust in the Lord will prosper. Proverbs 28:25. A faithful person will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. Proverbs 28:20. Trying to get rich quick usually makes you poor. Slow, steady, faithful wealth-building works. 3. Poor planning. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. Impulsive decisions, no budget, no preparation, recipe for poverty. 4. Excessive spending. One who loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and olive oil will never be rich. Proverbs 21:17. Living for immediate gratification, financial ruin. 5. Debt. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22:7. This is one of Proverbs' most important financial principles. Debt, slavery, even if you don't feel it immediately. Causes of wealth. 1. Diligence. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. Proverbs 12:24. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14:23. Hard work, consistently applied, creates wealth. 2. Saving and planning. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. Proverbs 21:20. Wise people save, fools consume everything. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Proverbs 6:38. Save during good times for inevitable hard times. 3. Generosity. This sounds counterintuitive, but Proverbs insists, one person gives freely yet gains even more, another withholds unduly but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Proverbs 11:24-25. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. Proverbs 3:9-10. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. Proverbs 19:17. Generosity creates abundance. Stinginess creates scarcity. 4. Wisdom in business. Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank. Proverbs 22:29. Excellence in work creates opportunities. By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Proverbs 24:3-4. The danger of wealth. Proverbs doesn't say wealth is evil, but it warns about its dangers. 1. Pride. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Proverbs 11:2. Wealth can make you think you're self-sufficient. 2. False security. Whoever trusts in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. Proverbs 11:28. Money feels secure until it doesn't. 2008 financial crisis proved this. 3. Oppression of the poor. Whoever oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and whoever gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. Proverbs 22:16. Whoever increases wealth by taking interest or profit from the poor amasses it for another, who will be kind to the poor. Proverbs 28:8. Getting rich by exploiting poor tact eventual judgment. 4. Making wealth your God. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Do not trust your own cleverness. Cast but a glance at riches and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. Proverbs 23:4-5. Wealth is fleeting. Don't make it your ultimate pursuit. The value of righteousness over riches. Better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. Proverbs 15:16. Better a little with righteousness than much gain with injustice. Proverbs 16:8. A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Proverbs 22:1. The rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all. Proverbs 22:2. Neither poverty nor riches. One of Proverbs' prayers. 2 things I ask of you, Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise I may have too much and disown you and say, who is the Lord? Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God. Proverbs 37:9. Wisdom seeks the middle. Not poverty leads to temptation to steal. Not excessive wealth leads to temptation to forget God. Just enough. Generosity to the poor. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. Proverbs 19:17. Helping the poor, lending to God. God repays. Whoever shuts their ears to the cry of the poor will also cry out and not be answered. Proverbs 21:13. Ignoring the poor, forfeiting God's help when you need it. Those who give to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to them receive many curses. Proverbs 28:27. Better a dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. Proverbs 17:1. Better to be lowly in spirit along with the oppressed than to share plunder with the proud. Proverbs 16:19. Peace, riches with conflict, contentment, wealth with turmoil. Practical application. 1. Work diligently. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. 2. Avoid debt. The borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22:7. If you have debt, attack it aggressively. 3. Save consistently. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. Proverbs 21:20. 4. Give generously. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. 5. Avoid get-rich-quick schemes. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Proverbs 13:11. 6. Be content with enough. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Proverbs 38:7. Help the poor. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord. Proverbs 19:17. What this teaches. 1. Money is morally neutral. Wealth isn't evil. Poverty isn't virtuous. It's what you do with it that matters. 2. Actions have financial consequences. Laziness, poverty. Diligence, wealth. Not always immediate, but usually eventual. 3. Debt is dangerous. The borrower is slave to the lender. Live below your means. Avoid debt. 4. Generosity creates abundance. Counterintuitive but true. Give freely, prosper more. 5. Contentment matters more than wealth. Better a little with peace. 6. God cares about the poor, helping them, lending to him, ignoring them, cursing yourself. 7. Slow and steady wins. Gather money little by little. No shortcuts, no lottery tickets, just faithful, diligent, wise stewardship. These principles worked 3,000 years ago. They work today. They'll work tomorrow because they're based on how God designed reality. Proverbs has one of Scripture's most famous verses. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. This isn't theory, it's observation. Pride always leads to destruction, always. The nature of pride. 1. Pride thinks too highly of self. Do you see a person wise in their own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for them. Proverbs 26:12. Worse than being a fool, thinking you're wise when you're not. All a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. Proverbs 16:2. Pride is self-deception. We justify ourselves. God sees truth. 2. Pride rejects correction. Whoever heeds discipline shows the way to life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray. Proverbs 10:17. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. Proverbs 12:1. Strong language, hating correction, stupid. Pride makes you unteachable. 3. Pride causes conflict. Where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. Proverbs 13:10. Want to know the source of most conflict? Pride. I'm right, you're wrong. I deserve better. How dare you? All pride. 4. Pride blinds to reality. The proud and arrogant person, mocker is his name, behaves with insolent fury. Proverbs 21:24. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes, and yet is not cleansed of its filth. Proverbs 30:12. Pride says, I'm fine, when you're not. The consequences of pride. 1. God opposes the proud, the Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this. They will not go unpunished. Proverbs 16:5. Not dislikes, detests. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Proverbs 11:2. The pattern is guaranteed. Pride, disgrace. Humility, wisdom. And 2, pride leads to destruction. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. Before a downfall the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. Proverbs 18:12. Every time. Lucifer fell through pride. Adam fell through pride. Every tyrant falls through pride. 3, pride isolates. Proud people repel others. No one enjoys arrogance. Pride thinks it doesn't need anyone, then wonders why it's alone. The nature of humility. 1. Humility sees self accurately, not thinking you're worthless, thinking of yourself less. Do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment. Romans 12:3. Proverbs laid that foundation. 2. Humility accepts correction. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Proverbs 15:31. The wise in heart accept commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. Proverbs 10:8. Humble people are teachable. 3. Humility listens. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Proverbs 18:13. Let someone else praise you and not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. Proverbs 27:2. Humble people don't need to promote themselves. 4. Humility fears the Lord. Humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. Proverbs 22:4. You can't fear God and be proud simultaneously. Fearing God, recognizing you're not God. The rewards of humility. 1. Wisdom. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Proverbs 11:2. Can't learn when you think you know everything. 2. Honor. Humility comes before honor. Proverbs 18:12. Before a downfall, the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. Proverbs 18:12. Want honor? Pursue humility. Want disgrace? Pursue pride. 3. Life and prosperity. Humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. Proverbs 22:4. Not guaranteed wealth, but God's favor. 4. God's grace. He mocks proud mockers, but shows favor to the humble and oppressed. Proverbs 3:34. Quoted in the New Testament, God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. James 4:6, 1 Peter 5:5. The test of pride versus humility. How do you respond to 1. Correction? Proud, defensive, justifying, blaming, humble. Thank you, I'll consider that. 2. Success? Proud. Look what I did. Humble. God blessed this. 3. Failure? Proud. It's not my fault. Humble. I messed up. I'm sorry. 4. Others' success? Proud, envious, threatened, humble, celebrating with them. 5. Criticism? Proud, angry, retaliating. Humble, examining if there's truth. Practical application. 1. Actively seek correction. Teach me. Show me where I'm wrong. 2. Celebrate others' success, genuinely, without comparison. 3. Apologize quickly when wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry. 3 hardest words for proud person. 4. Give credit generously. We, not I. Others' contributions matter. 5. Listen more than you speak, assuming you have something to learn. 6. Acknowledge your limitations. I don't know is humble statement. 7. Fear the Lord. Humility is the fear of the Lord. Can't be humble without recognizing God's authority. What this teaches. 1. Pride is universal human problem. We all struggle with it. Awareness is first step. 2. Pride blinds. You think you see clearly. Actually, pride is distorting everything. 3. God guarantees proud will fall, not might. will. Pride goes before destruction. 4. Humility is pathway to everything good. Wisdom, honor, life, prosperity, God's favor, all come through humility. 5. You can choose pride or humility. Both are choices. One leads to destruction, one leads to life. 6. Humility isn't weakness, it's strength under control, secure enough to admit weakness. 7. This affects everything: relationships, work, parenting, leadership. Pride poisons all. Humility blesses all. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Humility comes before honor. Ancient wisdom, modern application: choose humility. Proverbs is clear: your friends determine your future, not entirely, but significantly. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Proverbs 13:20. You become like those you spend time with. The power of friendship. 1. Friends influence character. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. Proverbs 22:24-25. Anger is contagious. Spend time with angry people. You become angry. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. Proverbs 12:26. Righteous people are selective about friendships, not snobbish, strategic, because they know friends shape who you become. 2. Friends either sharpen or dull you. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17. Good friends make you better, challenge you, correct you, encourage you. Bad friends make you worse, enable sin, discourage growth, pull you down. The marks of a true friend. 1. Loyal in hard times. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Proverbs 17:17. Fair weather friends disappear when trouble comes. True friends show up. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs 18:24. Quality, quantity. Better one loyal friend than 100 acquaintances. 2. Honest, even when it hurts. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Proverbs 27:6. This is counterintuitive. Enemy tells you what you want to hear. Friend tells you what you need to hear, even when it hurts. Perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. Proverbs 27:9. Heartfelt advice, sometimes painful truth, but it springs from love. 3. Provides wise counsel. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Proverbs 15:22. For waging war you need guidance, and for victory many advisors. Proverbs 24:6. Wise friends provide perspective you lack. The marks of a bad friend. 1. Hot-tempered. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. Proverbs 22:24-25. Already covered, but worth repeating. Anger spreads like disease. 2. Gossip. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. Proverbs 11:13. A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends. Proverbs 16:28. If someone gossips to you, they'll gossip about you. 3. Flattery without honesty. Whoever rebukes a person will in the end gain favor rather than one who has a flattering tongue. Proverbs 28:23. Whoever flatters their neighbor is spreading a net for their feet. Proverbs 29:5. Flatterers tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. They're using you, not helping you. 4. Quick to quarrel. Drive out the mocker and out goes strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. Proverbs 22:10. Some people are drama magnets. Constant conflict. always offended, stirring up trouble, distance yourself. 5. Lazy, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Proverbs 13:20. Lazy friends normalize laziness. Their low standards become your ceiling. The danger of bad company. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked or walk in the way of evil doers. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way. Proverbs 4:14-15. Strong language. Don't even set foot on their path. Not be careful. Not use discernment. Avoid entirely. Why? Because sin is seductive. My son, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, "Come along with us, let's lie in wait for innocent blood, let's ambush some harmless soul," my son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their paths, for their feet rush into evil, they are swift to shed blood. Proverbs 1:10-16. Bad company entices, pressures, makes sin seem normal. The wise response. Do not envy the wicked. Do not desire their company, for their hearts plot violence, and their lips talk about making trouble. Proverbs 24:1-2. Sometimes wicked people seem successful, tempting to join them. Don't. Their end is destruction. Practical boundaries. 1. Be friendly to all. Close to few Jesus ate with sinners, but his close friends were disciples. Love everyone. Be close to the wise. 2. Evaluate your current friendships. Who are your closest friends? Are they making you better or worse, more godly or less? Honest question, honest answer. 3. Seek friends who challenge you spiritually, not just fun to hang out with, but people who push you toward God. 4. Be the friend you want to have. A man who has friends must himself be friendly. Proverbs 18:24 NKJV. Want loyal friends? Be loyal. Want honest friends? Be honest. 5. Sometimes you must distance yourself, not hatred. Wisdom. Some relationships are toxic. Proverbs says, avoid them. What this teaches: 1. Friendships are formative, not just recreational. Your friends shape your character. Choose accordingly. 2. You become the average of your closest friends. Walk with the wise, become wise. Companion of fools, suffer harm. 3. True friends tell hard truths. Wounds from a friend can be trusted. 4. Loyalty is rare and valuable. A friend who sticks closer than a brother. When you find it, treasure it. 5. Quality matters more than quantity. A man of many companions may come to ruin. Better few deep friendships than many shallow ones. 6. Bad company corrupts good character. Paul quotes this principle. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Proverbs taught it first. 7. Friendships require intentionality, won't happen accidentally. Seek wise friends. Invest in relationships. Be the friend you want. Walk with the wise and become wise. Who are you walking with? Proverbs devote significant space to sexual purity, especially warning young men about adultery. Why so much attention? Because sexual sin destroys lives. Marriages, families, reputations, futures, the beauty of marriage. Proverbs celebrates faithful marriage. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breasts satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Proverbs 5:18-19. This is scripture. God designed sexual intimacy for marriage and celebrates it when enjoyed within his design. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Proverbs 18:22. A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. Proverbs 12:4. Good marriage, blessing from God, the deadly danger of adultery. But Proverbs spends more time warning than celebrating, because the consequences of sexual sin are catastrophic. The adulteress's tactics. Proverbs 7 paints vivid picture. A young man lacking judgment walks past an adulterous house at twilight. She approaches him. She took hold of him and kissed him, and with a brazen face she said, "Today I fulfilled my vows, and I have food from my fellowship offering at home. So I came out to meet you. I looked for you and have found you. I have covered my bed with colored linens from Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink deeply of love till morning. Let's enjoy ourselves with love. My husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey." Proverbs 7:13-19. Her tactics. Physical seduction. Grabbed and kissed religious cover. I fulfilled my vows, using spirituality to mask sin. Flattery. I looked for you, making him feel special. Sensory appeal. Perfumed bed, colored linens. Guaranteed safety. Husband is away. With persuasive words she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose till an arrow pierces his liver, like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life. Proverbs 7:21-23. He thinks he's getting pleasure. Actually, he's walking to his death. The consequences. 1. Destroys your life. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? So is he who sleeps with another man's wife. No one who touches her will go unpunished. Proverbs 6:27-29. Fire illustration. You can't play with fire without getting burned. You can't commit adultery without consequences. For a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, but another man's wife preys on your very life. Proverbs 6:26. It costs you your life. Not always literally, but your life as you know it ends. 2. Ruins your reputation. But a man who commits adultery has no sense. Whoever does so destroys himself. Blows and disgrace are his lot, and his shame will never be wiped away. Proverbs 6:32-33. Shame will never be wiped away. You can be forgiven, restored, redeemed, but some consequences remain forever. 3. Provokes violent revenge. For jealousy arouses a husband's fury, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. He will not accept any compensation. He will refuse a bribe, however great. Proverbs 6:34-35. In ancient Israel, a wronged husband could kill the adulterer. Today, the revenge might be legal or financial devastation. Either way, dangerous. 4. Leads to poverty. For a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, but another man's wife preys on your very life. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Proverbs 6:26-27. Adultery often leads to divorce, costs, alimony, child support, lost job, if workplace affair, legal fees. 5. Destroys your soul, but whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He who does so destroys his own soul. Proverbs 6:32 NKJV. Not just external consequences, internal destruction, guilt, shame, broken conscience, spiritual death. The strategy for purity. 1. Guard your eyes. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Proverbs 4:25. What you look at shapes what you desire. 2. Guard your path. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it, do not travel on it, turn from it, and go on your way. Proverbs 4:14-15. Don't put yourself in tempting situations. 3. Keep far from her door. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel. Proverbs 5:8-9. Don't get close to temptation. Don't think you can handle it. You can't, little knowing it will cost him his life. 4. Be satisfied with your spouse. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. Proverbs 5:15-18. Invest in your marriage. 5. Remember God sees everything, for your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. Proverbs 5:21. Nothing is hidden from God, no secret sin. He sees, he knows, he judges. The seductive lie. Sexual sin promises pleasure without consequences, excitement without detection, satisfaction without cost. All lies. In the end, she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps lead straight to the grave. Proverbs 5:4-5 starts sweet, ends bitter, starts exciting, ends in death. Practical application 1. If married, invest in your marriage. Don't let it grow cold. Romance your spouse. Keep intimacy alive. 2. If single, guard your purity. Don't compromise. Flee temptation. Worth the wait. 3. Set boundaries with opposite sex. Don't put yourself in compromising situations. Billy Graham's rule, never alone with woman who isn't his wife. Wisdom, not paranoia. 4. Control your thought life. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. What you think about, you become. 5. If you've fallen, repent and return. God forgives, restores, redeems. David committed adultery and murder. God forgave him, though consequences remained. What this teaches. 1. Sexual sin has unique destructive power. Whoever does so destroys himself. Proverbs 6:32. Not just another sin, uniquely damaging. Paul says, flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. 1 Corinthians 10:18. 2. Prevention is easier than recovery. Keep far from her door. Don't get close. Don't flirt with temptation. 3. Pleasure is real but temporary. Consequences are real and lasting. Moment of pleasure, lifetime of regret. 4. Marriage is God's design for sexual fulfillment. May you rejoice in the wife of your youth. 5. You can't hide from God. Your ways are in full view of the Lord. 6. This applies to all sexual immorality. Proverbs focuses on adultery. Principle applies to pornography, fornication, homosexual practice, etc. All sexual expression outside biblical marriage is destructive. 7. God's boundaries are protection, not restriction. He's not trying to rob you of joy. He's trying to save you from destruction. Her feet go down to death. Don't follow. Proverbs addresses parents directly, with wisdom, warnings, and promises. The goal of parenting. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. Proverbs 22:6. This isn't a guarantee, it's a principle. Children have free will. Some rebel despite good parenting. But faithful training creates trajectory toward wisdom. The Hebrew literally says, according to his way, meaning each child is different. Train according to their unique design, not cookie-cutter approach. The foundation, teaching wisdom. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. Proverbs 1:8-9. Parents are primary teachers of wisdom, not schools, not church, though they help. Parents, my son, keep your father's command, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Bind them always on your heart, fasten them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you awake, they will speak to you. Proverbs 6:20-22. Parental teaching should guide daily decisions, protect during sleep, speak when awake, constant influence. The role of discipline. This is where modern culture and Proverbs clash most directly. Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. Proverbs 13:24. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish them with the rod, they will not die. Punish them with the rod and save them from death. Proverbs 23:13-14. The rod and rebuke impart wisdom, but a child left undisciplined disgraces its mother. Proverbs 29:15. The rod in Hebrew culture, not beating, not abuse. Shepherd's rod, lashon, tool for guidance and correction. The principle, children need correction. Without it, they grow up foolish, entitled, destructive. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far away. Proverbs 22:15. Children aren't born morally neutral. They're born with sinful nature. Foolishness is bound in the heart. Discipline drives it out. Modern application of discipline. The specific method, spanking, timeout, loss of privileges, is secondary to the principle. Children need clear boundaries, consistent consequences, loving correction, parents who care enough to enforce rules. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace. They will bring you the delights you desire. Proverbs 29:17. Undisciplined children bring chaos. Disciplined children bring peace. The danger of neglecting discipline. A rod and a reprimand impart wisdom, but a child left undisciplined disgraces its mother. Proverbs 29:15. Disgrace. Undisciplined children embarrass their parents, create chaos in public, grow into foolish adults. The eye that mocks a father, that scorns an aged mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. Proverbs 30:17. Strong imagery. Mocking parents. Serious sin with serious consequences. The foolish son. A foolish son brings grief to his father and bitterness to the mother who bore him. Proverbs 17:25. A foolish son is his father's ruin, and a quarrelsome wife is like the constant dripping of a leaky roof. Proverbs 19:13. Parents bear burden of children's foolishness. The wise son. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother. Proverbs 10:1. The father of a righteous child has great joy. A man who fathers a wise son rejoices in him. Proverbs 23:24. Greatest reward, not children's success, wealth, or fame, their wisdom, their righteousness. Practical parenting wisdom. 1. Teach diligently. Fix these words of mine in your hearts and minds. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Deuteronomy 6:6-7. Constant natural teaching, not just formal lessons. 2. Model what you teach. Even small children are known by their actions, so is their conduct really pure and upright? Proverbs 20:11. Children watch more than they listen. Live what you preach. 3. Discipline consistently, not when you feel like it. Every time, consistency is key. 4. Combine discipline with love. Discipline your children, for in that there is hope. Do not be a willing party to their death. Proverbs 19:18. Love motivates discipline, not anger, not frustration. Love. 5. Start early. Start children off on the way they should go. Proverbs 22:6. Don't wait until teenage years. Start when they're young. 6. Point them to the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Ultimate goal, children who fear and follow God. What this teaches. 1. Parenting is active, not passive. Train, teach, discipline, guide, not just let them figure it out. 2. Children need boundaries. They won't thank you at 5. They'll thank you at 25. 3. Discipline is love, not cruelty. Whoever spares the rod hates their children. Real love corrects. 4. Foolishness is natural. Wisdom must be taught. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child. Don't assume they'll naturally choose well. 5. Your children's character reflects your parenting, not entirely, but significantly. A child left undisciplined disgraces its mother. 6. Greatest legacy is wise children, not wealth, not success, righteous children. 7. Long-term thinking required parenting is 18-plus year investment. Don't seek immediate peace at expense of long-term wisdom. Train up a child in the way he should go. They're watching. Teach well. Proverbs speaks extensively to leaders, kings, judges, rulers, employers, anyone with authority, because leadership done well brings blessing, leadership done poorly brings destruction. The righteous king. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. Proverbs 29:2. Simple truth. Righteous leadership, rejoicing people. Wicked leadership, groaning people. A king delights in a wise servant, but a shameful servant arouses his fury. Proverbs 14:35. By justice, a king gives a country stability, but those who are greedy for bribes tear it down. Proverbs 29:4. Justice brings stability. Corruption tears down nations. The foundation, righteousness. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin condemns any people. Proverbs 14:34. This is foundational principle for nations. Righteousness, prosperity, stability, blessing. Sin, condemnation, instability, curse. By justice, a king gives a country stability, but those who are greedy for bribes tear it down. Proverbs 29:4. Justice stabilizes. Bribery destroys. The king's heart. In the Lord's hand, the king's heart is a stream of water that he channels toward all who please him. Proverbs 21:1. Even kings answer to God. Their hearts are in his hand. He directs them according to his purposes. No ruler is autonomous. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse wherever he pleases. Proverbs 21:1. The responsibility to speak for the voiceless. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. Proverbs 31:8-9. Leaders must advocate for the powerless, the poor, the oppressed, those without voice, the vulnerable. This is not optional, it's commanded. A justice and the poor. Whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. Proverbs 14:31. How you treat the poor reveals how you view God. Oppress them, despise their creator. Help them, honor their creator. Whoever mocks the poor shows contempt for their maker. Whoever gloats over disaster will not go unpunished. Proverbs 17:5. If a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne will be established forever. Proverbs 29:14. Want lasting leadership? Treat the poor justly. The danger of bribery. A wicked person accepts a bribe in secret to pervert the course of justice. Proverbs 17:23. Bribery. Perverting justice. Selling verdicts to highest bidder. The wicked accept bribes in secret to pervert the course of justice. Proverbs 17-23. A ruler who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain that leaves no crops. Proverbs 28-3. Corrupt leadership destroys the very people it should protect. The power of wise counsel. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but victory is won through many advisors. Proverbs 11:14. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Proverbs 15:22. For waging war you need guidance, and for victory many advisors. Proverbs 24:6. Leaders who refuse counsel are foolish. Wise leaders surround themselves with wise advisors. The king's responsibility for truth. A king's wrath is a messenger of death, but the wise will appease it. Proverbs 16:14. Power brings danger. Leaders can destroy with a word. It is not for kings, Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, not for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed, and deprive all the oppressed of their rights. Proverbs 31:4-5. Leaders must stay sober and clear-minded. Drunkenness leads to forgetting justice and oppressing the vulnerable. The throne established by righteousness, love and faithfulness keep a king safe. Through love, his throne is made secure. Proverbs 20:28. A throne is established through righteousness. Proverbs 16:12. If a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne will be established forever. Proverbs 29:14. Love and faithfulness keep a king safe. Through love, his throne is made secure. Proverbs 20:28. A throne is established through righteousness. Proverbs 16:12. If a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne will be established forever. Proverbs 29:14. Threefold foundation for lasting leadership: righteousness, moral integrity, justice for the poor, protecting vulnerable, love and faithfulness, character qualities. Tyranny might work short-term. Righteousness establishes thrones forever. The danger of wicked leaders. When the wicked rise to power, people go into hiding, but when the wicked perish, the righteous thrive. Proverbs 28:28. Wicked leadership creates fear. People hide, withdraw, live in terror. When the righteous triumph, there is great elation, but when the wicked rise to power, people go into hiding. Proverbs 28:12. The contrast: righteous leadership, joy, freedom, prosperity; wicked leadership, fear, oppression, poverty. Application beyond kings. These principles apply to all leadership: parents leading families righteously, employers treating employees justly, pastors shepherding flocks with integrity, teachers instructing students with fairness, politicians serving constituents honestly. Anyone with authority must lead righteously. Practical application for leaders. 1. Seek God's wisdom daily. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Proverbs 21:1. Submit your decisions to God. 2. Surround yourself with wise counsel. Victory is won through many advisors. Proverbs 11:14. Don't lead alone. Seek wisdom. 3. Pursue justice for all, especially the vulnerable. Speak up for those who cannot speak. Proverbs 31:8. 4. Reject all forms of corruption. A wicked person accepts a bribe in secret. Proverbs 17:23. Your integrity is your authority. 5. Lead with love and faithfulness. Love and faithfulness keep a king safe. Proverbs 20:28. 6. Remember you answer to God. Even if no one on earth holds you accountable, God does. Practical application for citizens. 1. Pray for leaders. In the Lord's hand, the king's heart is a stream of water. Proverbs 21:1. God directs leaders. Pray he directs them toward righteousness. 2. Hold leaders accountable. Speak truth to power when injustice occurs. 3. Support righteous leaders. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. Proverbs 29:2. 4. Speak for the voiceless. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Proverbs 31:8. Not just leaders' responsibility, yours too. What this teaches: 1. Leadership is moral responsibility, not just authority. Power without righteousness is tyranny. 2. Justice for the poor stabilizes nations. If a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne will be established forever. Proverbs 29:14. 3. Corruption destroys nations. Those who are greedy for bribes tear it down. Proverbs 29:4. 4. All leaders answer to God. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Proverbs 21:1. 5. How you treat the vulnerable reveals your character. Whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker. Proverbs 14:31. 6. Wise counsel prevents foolish decisions. Plans fail for lack of counsel. Proverbs 15:22. 7. Righteousness exalts nations. Sin condemns them, not military might, not economic power, righteousness. These principles governed ancient kingdoms. They govern modern democracies because they're based on how God designed authority to function. Proverbs ends with famous passage, the Proverbs 31 woman, often misunderstood, sometimes weaponized against women, but rightly understood. Its beautiful portrait of wisdom lived out. The sayings of King Lemuel, an inspired utterance his mother taught him. Proverbs 31:1. This is a mother teaching her son what to look for in a wife, not a checklist for women to feel inadequate, not a to-do list to accomplish daily, a portrait of character to aspire toward. The portrait. A wife of noble character who can find. She is worth far more than rubies. Proverbs 31:10. Hebrew, Eshet Chayil, as woman of valor, strength, noble character. Same phrase used of Ruth, Ruth 3:11. This is rare woman, valuable woman, strong woman. Her character qualities. 1. Trustworthy. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. Proverbs 31:11. He trusts her completely, with finances, with decisions, with everything. 2. Does him good, not harm. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Proverbs 31:12. Consistent faithfulness, not just when she feels like it, all the days of her life. 3. Hard-working. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. Proverbs 31:13-15. She's not lazy, works eagerly, plans ahead, provides for household. 4. Wise with money. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings she plants a vineyard. Proverbs 31:16. She makes investments, not reckless, considers carefully, then acts. 5. Strong and energetic. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. Proverbs 31:17. Physical strength for physical work. 6. Profitable in business. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. Proverbs 31:18. She's successful in business ventures. 7. Skilled with her hands. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. Proverbs 31:19. Skilled craftswoman. 8. Generous to the poor. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. Proverbs 31:20. Despite her industry and success, she's generous, doesn't hoard, gives freely. 9. Provides for her family. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Proverbs 31:21-22. Plans ahead. Provides well. Family is prepared for winter. 10. Brings honor to her husband. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. Proverbs 31:23. Her character elevates his reputation. 11. Entrepreneurial. She makes linen garments and sells them and supplies the merchants with sashes. Proverbs 31:24. She's not just managing household. She's running businesses, creating products, selling them. 12. Dignified and strong. She's clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. Proverbs 31:25. No fear of future. Confident, dignified, strong. 13. Speaks wisely. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. Proverbs 31:26. Her words are wise. She teaches others. 14. Manages household well. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Proverbs 31:27. Attentive, not lazy, everything in order. The results. Her children bless her. Her children arise and call her blessed. Proverbs 31:28. Her husband praises her. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Proverbs 31:28-29. The foundation. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Proverbs 31:30. This is the key. Not charm, not beauty. Fear of the Lord. That's what makes her valuable. That's what drives all her qualities. The reward. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Proverbs 31:31. She deserves public recognition. Her works speak for themselves. Common misunderstandings. Misunderstanding after one. I have to do all this daily. No, this is composite portrait spanning lifetime, not daily checklist. Shows range of what woman of noble character might do over years. Misunderstanding number 2. Women must stay home. No, she's running businesses, buying fields, trading with merchants, very entrepreneurial. Misunderstanding number 3. Women are only valuable for work. No, a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Her value is in her character, not her productivity. Misunderstanding number 4. This is impossible standard. It's aspirational, not legalistic. Portrait of wisdom embodied. Direction to grow toward, not perfection to achieve. What this teaches. 1. Women of noble character are rare and valuable, worth far more than rubies. 2. Character matters more than beauty. Charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting. 3. Fear of the Lord is foundation. Everything flows from this. 4. Strength and dignity go together, not competing qualities. Complementary. 5. Wisdom can be entrepreneurial, business success isn't unwomanly. 6. Generosity accompanies success, opens her arms to the poor. 7. Her family honors her children and husband bless her. For women, this is vision of what's possible, not burden of what's required. Grow toward it, don't feel condemned by it. For men, this is what to value in a wife, not physical appearance primarily, character, fear of the Lord, wisdom. For everyone, wisdom lived out creates flourishing. In home, business, community, family, the Proverbs 31 woman is wisdom embodied and worth aspiring toward. Throughout Proverbs, 2 voices call out, 2 women invite, 2 paths beckon. Lady Wisdom. Wisdom calls aloud in the street. She raises her voice in the public squares. On top of the wall she cries out. At the city gate she makes her speech. How long will you who are simple love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery and fools hate knowledge? Proverbs 1:20-22. Wisdom is public, calls in streets, squares, gates, accessible, anyone can hear, urgent, crying out, not whispering, inviting all, simple mockers, fools. Repent at my rebuke, then I will pour out my thoughts to you, I will make known to you my teachings. Proverbs 1:23. Wisdom offers her teachings freely. The value of wisdom. Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Proverbs 3:13-15. Wisdom is more valuable than silver, gold, rubies, anything else you could desire. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. Those who hold her fast will be blessed. Proverbs 3:16-18. Wisdom brings long life, riches, honor, pleasant ways, peace, life itself. Lady Folly, the contrast. Folly is an unruly woman. She is simple and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house, on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling out to those who pass by, who go straight on their way, "Let all who are simple come to my house." To those who have no sense, she says, "Stolen water is sweet, food eaten in secret is delicious." But little do they know that the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead. Proverbs 9:13-18. Folly, unruly, chaotic, no self-control. Simple, shallow, knows nothing, also calls publicly, competing with wisdom, promises pleasure, stolen water is sweet, delivers death, the dead are there. The contrast. Wisdom, folly calls in streets, sits at her door. Offers life, delivers death, teaches truth, knows nothing, brings peace, creates chaos, leads to prosperity, leads to poverty, public and honest, secret and deceptive, long-term thinking, immediate gratification, humble, receives correction. Arrogant, rejects instruction, fear of the Lord, despises God. 2 invitations, both call, both invite, both promise satisfaction. Wisdom says, "Come, eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways and you will live. Walk in the way of insight." Proverbs 9:5-6. Folly says, "Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious." Proverbs 9:17. One delivers what she promises. The other kills her guests. The simple. Both target the simple, Hebrew pitai, not idiots. Undecided, naive, easily influenced, uncommitted. The simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps. Proverbs 14:15. A simple man believes every word he hears, but a prudent man understands the need for proof. Proverbs 14:15 TLB. The simple are decision makers. They can choose wisdom or folly. Their future depends on the choice. The mocker. Mocker appears throughout Proverbs, someone who ridicules wisdom, rejects correction, scorns instruction. Whoever corrects a mocker invites insults. Whoever rebukes the wicked incurs abuse. Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you. Rebuke the wise, and they will love you. Proverbs 9:7-8. Mockers are unteachable. Don't waste time correcting them. They'll just mock you. The fool, we've discussed fools already, but to summarize, the way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice. Proverbs 12:15. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1:7. A fool finds no pleasure in understanding, but delights in airing his own opinions. Proverbs 18:2. Fools are arrogant, unteachable, self-destructive. The wise in heart accept commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. Proverbs 10:8. Whoever heeds discipline shows the way to life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray. Proverbs 10:17. The way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice. Proverbs 12:15. The wise accept correction. Listen to advice, heed discipline, fear the Lord, think long-term, learn from mistakes. The choice, every person must choose, wisdom or folly, life or death, blessing or curse. See, I set before you today life and prosperity, death and destruction. Now choose life. Deuteronomy 30:15-19. Proverbs echoes Moses' words. 2 paths. Choose wisely. What this teaches: 1. Everyone hears both voices. Wisdom and folly both call. You can't avoid the decision. 2. The simple must choose. Uncommitted isn't safe position. You're choosing folly by default. 3. Appearances deceive. Folly promises pleasure, delivers death. 4. Long-term thinking is essential. Folly focuses on immediate gratification. Wisdom thinks eternally. 5. Correction reveals character. Wise person. Thank you. Fool. How dare you? 6. You become what you choose. Choose wisdom, become wise. Choose folly, become fool. 7. The stakes are life and death, not exaggeration. Your choice determines your destiny. Wisdom calls aloud in the street. Are you listening? Here's the stunning truth. All of Proverbs points to Jesus. He is the wisdom of God incarnate. Wisdom personified in Proverbs. Proverbs 8 presents wisdom speaking. I, wisdom, dwell together with prudence. I possess knowledge and discretion. By me kings reign, and rulers issue decrees that are just. By me princes govern and nobles, all who rule on earth. Proverbs 8:12-16. Then this, the Lord brought me forth as the first of his works, before his deeds of old. I was formed long ages ago, at the very beginning, when the world came to be. Then I was constantly at his side. I was filled with delight day after day, rejoicing always in his presence, rejoicing in his whole world and delighting in mankind. Proverbs 8:22-31. This sounds like a person, not abstract concept. Someone who existed before creation, someone at God's side, someone delighting in mankind. Who is this? The New Testament answers, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. John 1:1-3. Jesus is the Word, present at creation. With God was God, just like wisdom in Proverbs 8. Paul makes it explicit. Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God. 1 Corinthians 1:24. In whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Colossians 2:3. Jesus is the wisdom that Proverbs describes. Jesus perfectly embodies Proverbs 1. Fear of the Lord Jesus, perfectly feared, reverenced, submitted to the Father. I always do what pleases him. John 8:29. 2. Perfect speech, never sinned with his tongue. No deceit was found in his mouth. 1 Peter 2:22. 3. Perfect diligence. My Father is always at his work to this very day, and I too am working. John 5:17. 4. Perfect generosity. Though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor. 2 Corinthians 8:9. 5. Perfect humility. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Philippians 2:8. 6. Perfect relationships. Never sinned against another person. 7. Perfect sexual purity. Tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Hebrews 4:15. 8. Perfect justice. He will judge the world in righteousness. Acts 17:31. Jesus, where we failed. Solomon had the wisdom to write Proverbs, but not the character to live it. We have the same problem. We know what's right. We don't do it. But Jesus knew what was right, did what was right, always, perfectly, completely. Jesus invites us to wisdom. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Matthew 11:28-29. This echoes wisdom's invitation in Proverbs. Come, eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Proverbs 9-5. Jesus is inviting us to feast on true wisdom. At the cross, Christ crucified, the power of God and the wisdom of God. For the foolishness of God is wiser than human wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than human strength. 1 Corinthians 1:23-25. The world thought the cross was foolishness. Actually, it's God's wisdom, saving sinners who couldn't save themselves. Satisfying justice while extending mercy. That's wisdom. The ultimate proverb. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The ultimate expression, fearing Jesus, trusting Jesus, following Jesus, because he is the wisdom of God. We can't live Proverbs perfectly. We try, we fail, we know better, we do worse. But Jesus lived it perfectly and offers us his righteousness, covering our failures, his Spirit, empowering our obedience, his wisdom, guiding our decisions, His grace forgiving our foolishness. Proverbs shows us how life should be lived. Jesus shows us the one who lived it perfectly and saves those who couldn't. Practical application. 1. Pursue Christ, not just principles. Proverbs is more than good advice. It points to a person. 2. You need more than wisdom. You need the Savior. You'll never be wise enough to earn salvation. You need Jesus. 3. The Spirit enables obedience. Can't live Proverbs in your own strength. Need the Spirit. 4. Grace covers your failures. You'll mess up, you'll be foolish. Grace is available. 5. Jesus is your wisdom. Every decision, ask Him. Every choice, follow Him. What this teaches. 1. Old Testament points to Christ. Proverbs isn't just ancient advice, it's prophetic picture of Jesus. 2. Wisdom is ultimately a person, not just principles to follow. Person to know. 3. No one but Jesus lived Proverbs perfectly. Solomon wrote it. Couldn't live it, we read it. Can't live it, Jesus lived it perfectly. 4. The gospel transforms Proverbs from burden to blessing. Without Jesus, crushing weight of impossible standard. With Jesus, empowering truth lived through His strength. 5. The fear of the Lord ultimately means trusting Christ, beginning of wisdom. 1. Bowing to Jesus. 6. Proverbs shows us our need for a Savior. Can't be this wise, this disciplined, this perfect. We need help. 7. Jesus offers what Proverbs demands. Proverbs, be wise. Jesus, I am wisdom, come to me. That's the gospel. We've journeyed through Proverbs, from fear of the Lord to Lady Wisdom, from controlling the tongue to raising wise children, from work ethic to sexual purity, from humility to justice. The central truth. God designed reality to work a certain way. Proverbs describes that design, not as rigid laws, but as wisdom principles, showing us how to live skillfully in God's world. Why Proverbs still rules the world because human nature hasn't changed. We still struggle with pride, laziness, sexual temptation, foolish speech, money problems, relationship conflict, parenting challenges. And God's design for reality hasn't changed. The principles that worked 3,000 years ago still work today. Will work 3,000 years from now, because they're based on how God created things to function. The two paths. Proverbs presents constant choice. Wisdom or folly, righteousness or wickedness. Life or death every day. Every decision, every moment. You're walking one path or the other. Wisdom's path leads to life, physical and spiritual. Prosperity, not always wealth but God's blessing. Peace, internal and relational. Honor, reputation and legacy. Joy, satisfaction in living rightly. Folly's path leads to death, spiritual and sometimes physical. Poverty, not always monetary but emptiness. Conflict, internal turmoil and broken relationships. Shame, disgrace and regret. Misery, consequences of foolish choices. The foundation. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We started here, we end here. Because everything in Proverbs flows from this one truth. Life works when lived in reverent submission to God. Life breaks when lived in rebellion against God. You can't pick and choose. You can't say, I'll follow the money principles but ignore the sexual purity. Or, I'll pursue humility but reject God's authority. It's a package deal. Either God's design governs your whole life, or you're on folly's path pretending it's wisdom's. 10 timeless truths from Proverbs 1. Fear the Lord. This is where wisdom begins and where it always returns. 2. Guard your tongue. Words have power of life and death. Use them wisely. 3. Work diligently. Laziness leads to poverty. Diligence leads to prosperity. 4. Manage money biblically, avoid debt. Save consistently, give generously. 5. Pursue humility. Pride goes before destruction. Humility comes before honor. 6. Choose friends wisely. You become like those you spend time with. 7. Honor marriage and flee sexual immorality. God's design for sexuality brings blessing, violation brings destruction. 8. Train your children, start them on wisdom's path while young. 9. Lead righteously, all authority must be exercised with justice and mercy. 10. Choose wisdom daily. It's not one decision, it's daily choice. What about when Proverbs doesn't work? Sometimes righteous people suffer, sometimes wicked people prosper, sometimes you do everything right and still face hardship. Does this mean Proverbs is wrong? No. Proverbs teaches general principles, not absolute guarantees. Typically, diligence leads to prosperity, laziness leads to poverty, righteousness brings blessing, wickedness brings consequences, but not always immediately. And not in every individual case, because we live in a fallen world, where sin has distorted everything, where righteous Job suffered, where wicked prosper temporarily. But Proverbs insists, ultimately, righteousness wins. Maybe not in this life, but eternally. The wise person plays the long game. Living Proverbs in gospel, light. Here's the tension. Proverbs says, be wise, work hard, control your tongue, pursue righteousness. But we can't do it perfectly. That's where the gospel comes in. Jesus lived Proverbs perfectly, never spoke sinful word, never made foolish choice, never fell into laziness, pride, or sexual sin, perfect wisdom, perfect righteousness. And he offers us, 1. His righteousness, covering our failures. When we sin foolishly, his wisdom covers us. 2. His Spirit, empowering our obedience. We can't live wisely in our own strength. His Spirit enables what we can't do. 3. His grace, forgiving our foolishness. When we blow it, and we will, grace is available. 4. His wisdom, guiding our decisions. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. James 1:5. So we pursue wisdom, not to earn salvation, can't be done, but in response to salvation already given, not under law, crushing burden, but under grace, empowering freedom. The invitation. Wisdom calls aloud in the street. Jesus says, come to me, and I will give you rest. Will you listen? Will you fear the Lord? Will you choose wisdom over folly? Will you walk the path of life? Proverbs has laid out 2 paths. One leads to life, one leads to death. Ancient wisdom, modern application. Eternal stakes. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Choose wisdom, choose life, choose Christ. He is the wisdom of God.